OK, so low-income households from today will receive the latest cost of living payment from the government. 8 million people claiming benefits, including people on universal credit, will be eligible for £301. But as food prices rise at their fastest rate in 45 years, is it enough? Or actually, are you of the increasingly controversial view that it is maybe too much? Joining me now is Liam Halligan, our economics and business editor, with On the Money. 8 million people on benefits.
Yeah, so what these payments are, these are special cost of living payments that came about when energy prices were really high, and obviously they're still quite high historically, and food price rises. So these are special one-off payments for people on universal benefit and some other means-tested benefits. I can give you the details in a minute. And that adds up to 8 million people. So I've just put on a graphic here some of the key facts. As we say, 8 million households are to receive £301, those on universal credit and some other benefits. That money will arrive in their bank accounts between now and the 17th of May, and then there'll be payments of a roughly similar size in the autumn and then again next spring. So 3 payments of around 300 quid. It will be all transferred automatically if you're eligible. There's no need to make a claim. But as you say, this comes after sky-high food price inflation. So food price inflation in February was 19.1% up on March 2022. And just another little aspect of it here, there'll be additional benefits. I've put these in a graphic too. So this summer, on top of what we've just said, over 6 million people with disabilities will get an extra £150 on top. And then in the winter coming, over 8 million pensioners will get an extra £300. And that really is to help with electricity and heating bills, because we are expecting, you know, again, quite tight energy markets this winter. So that's what the government's announced today. We thought we should come on and tell people about it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, it will be... people presumably will just be watching their bank accounts now, and it's between now and when?
The 17th of May, if you are eligible. Yeah. It's worth saying, Patrick, to qualify for a payment, there's just some government rubric, bear with me. You must be in receipt of either universal credit, an income-based job seekers allowance, an income-related employment and social support allowance, income support, a working tax credit, or a pension credit. And you'll need to be entitled to one of those payments between January and February this year.
Yeah, well, look, I suppose the bigger picture stuff here is that what more can we do as a country to get people off benefits and having to rely on things like this and back into the workplace earning a good wage?
Well, the main thing that causes people to be on benefits, obviously old age, but the main thing that causes people of working age to be on benefits is unemployment. Yeah. And unemployment, thankfully, in the UK is quite low. Now, there are pockets of unemployment in certain parts of the country. We've got lots of vacancies. We've got over 1 million vacancies, and we've got about 3 or 4% of the workforce unemployed. So how can that be? Yeah. Well, because we have what we call occupational and geographic mismatch. What does that mean? Occupational mismatch, the people who are out of work haven't got the skills often that employers need to fill those vacancies. That's occupational mismatch. Or they might be in the wrong part of the country and they're not prepared to move the way people move around a lot in the US. We're just a different culture here. So that's geographic mismatch. I think in general, from a Conservative government, these benefit payments will go down quite well. It's worth saying also that a lot of benefits were uprated in line with inflation by 10%. So there's going to be a lot of government spending coming down the track to pay for this.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point I want to get you on, really, which is the two things you've identified there. From a Conservative government, I would argue that's quite unusual. Yeah. But also just the general affordability of it all, really. I mean, for your average common man and woman, I mean, presumably, well, we're all paying for this, aren't we?
We are all paying for this. The tax burden is at a 70-year high. I had a chat with the Chancellor about this yesterday, had about 20 minutes with him with some other journalists, and I asked him directly about the tax burden, and his comments ended up on the front of today's FT, where he said to me, the tax burden is too high, I do want to bring it down, but then he said after that, me thinking, lots of Tory backbenchers are going to say, well, why aren't you cutting taxes then? He said, I'm not going to cut taxes. The way to get the tax burden down is to grow the economy. So tax as a share of GDP of the entire economy gets smaller because the pie gets bigger, if you like. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not going to cut taxes. They will announce tax cuts, in my view, before the next general election, but they won't do so before these local elections at the beginning of May. What they are trying to do, though, Patrick, my meeting with the Chancellor yesterday, the Prime Minister's speech to business leaders yesterday, is they're trying these benefit announcements with some fanfare. They're trying to say before these local elections in early May, whether the Tories are going to lose 1,000 seats plus, right? It's going to. The only thing that Sunak wants is to make sure he loses fewer seats than Theresa May. She lost 1,300 seats when she was Prime Minister. They're trying to get this narrative out there that the economy has turned the corner, that things are getting better under the Tories. Why would you trust Labour with this recovery? Try not to stamp on the recovery. That's become a lot harder since we had the inflation number last week, still in double digits. So we're going to get some more interest rate rises probably. But the government's now saying, but look, at least we're helping people lower down the income scale with these one-off benefit payments.
Good stuff, Liam. Thank you very much. Liam Halligan, our economics and business editor with On the Money.